Hello, welcome back. In today's video you should prepare yourself a little bit for stuff like this. Beautiful, amazing music from the 80s. But when you consider this little music snippet, I think when it comes to the emotionality I have, when it comes to these 80s songs, this 80s music, I would say that there is another snippet that gives me the shivers, because this few seconds covers the feeling we had at the time, the whole lifestyle in a way we had at that time, like nothing else. And I'm talking about this little snippet. I love it. I love it. Of course, it's from the ABC's Look of Love, from the album The Lexicon of Love. I think it was 83. The record itself is produced by Trevor Horn. And this little sequence covers it up wonderfully. The way we felt here in Düsseldorf, here in Germany, here in Europe at the time is in that sequence. But of course we go also deeper into some records I really do love, and we go deeper into the fact that now that there is light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to getting the krautrock records I want to have in my collection, I for myself decided that I will go way deeper into the 80s stuff. But before we go into this rabbit hole and why I'm going into it, let's start and talk a bit about music, and then go back to this every now and then. The first record I want to play something of is 1980, so quite early. The records we talk today about are from 80, 81, 82, 83, so the early 80s stuff. And let's get into Ultravox Vienna. Let's listen to some music of the album, and of course I choose the title track Vienna, which is for me one of the best titles from this period. Let's get a little bit into it.
We walked in the cold air, freezing breath on a window pane, lying and waiting. A man in the dark in a picture frame, so mystic and soulful. A voice reaching out in a piercing cry, it stays with you until
Brilliant. The coolness. And again, like so often when it comes to these kind of songs, this is almost like a red line for me when I listen to this kind of music. You usually have total coolness, ice cold in a way, plus a huge portion of emotion. This kind of music manages managed to get both into their music. Coolness, very forward, simple, yet emotional, like hell. Amazing. And Ultravox with this album and this song put out one of the most amazing examples of the time. Of course, there is one of the greatest music producers of all time who gave his genius to this record too, and that's of course Conny Plank. Amazing, wonderful record. He also was one of the geniuses that influenced krautrock like almost nobody else. Maybe Dieter Dierks did too, but Conny Plank was the mastermind behind so many amazing releases, and he continued to do so in the 80s. Yeah, why do I go into the 80s now? Of course, first of all, I'm a child of the 80s, and so this is quite obvious in a way. But it also makes sense in other regards. Those records, they don't lie around like nothing or everywhere, but you have better availability. And so the prices compared to the krautrock records are, yeah, doable, extremely doable, because those records, especially in the video of today, those have been really successful records, at least here in Europe. Really big hitters, so you can find them. Of course, it's when you want to have an amazing copy, it gets difficult here too, but still, in my opinion, for very reasonable prices. The open question for me is now, which ones to get? Do I get into the British first pressing, so the real originals? Are they better? Do they sound better? Or is it okay, or doesn't it make a big difference? Or maybe the Germans are better. So I will, over time, I will now compare to German and British or European first pressings, German first pressings, British originals, so that we over time can have a decision if it makes sense. Because, of course, here in Germany, here in Europe, it's a completely different ballgame if you get a British first pressing or a German or European one. One of the main factors is, of course, Brexit, because nowadays because you usually get them over in Great Britain, and then the customs hits you quite hard. So the price difference is huge. Of course, you also have a different collectability, no doubt about that, but I will figure out over time now, does it make sense to go for the British first pressing or other pressings, first pressings? We will see. We will see. That will show over time. The second album, and now back to the music. The second album I want to show here and talk about here is Yazoo, Upstairs at Eric's. Yeah, Yazoo. Vince Clarke, Alison Moyet, Vince Clarke, who left Depeche Mode quite early and built up the duo with Alison Moyet, and it was huge at the time. It was huge at the time. The records I show here today in my video and the records you can listen to here in the sound samples are British first pressings. I don't have Germans or Europeans so far from those. So we will do that in another video when I'm prepared to do so. But before we get into Yazoo a little bit more and talk about this release, let's listen to one of my favorite songs from Yazoo.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
I stand alone and watch the clock
to stop.
What are you?
And in the room, locked up inside me,
Thy kingdom come.
the cut-out magazines remind me. I sit and wait alone
Thy will be done.
in my room. And in my room, against the wall, there is a picture, very small,
On earth as it is in heaven.
a photograph I took some years ago. It shows a picture of the room I know. I sit and wait alone in my room.
On earth as it is in heaven.
The walls are white, and in the night the room is lit by electric lights.
In my room. Wonderful. This rhythmic, catchy. This song catches me from the very first second. I think you. This is one like Vienna. Perfect synth pop of the time. Of course, there is a desperate try from MoFi to do an audiophile version of this, but honestly, so far what I've heard, there is no need to do so, because these records throughout, they sound amazing. They still knew what they were doing. In My Room is just one example. Absolute highlights, and in my opinion, the 80s comes a little short when it comes to videos about records, especially the synth pop part of the 80s deserve more space and more interest, in my opinion. I will do now every now and then a video about this kind of music about the 80s, and I hope you will enjoy this. The record came out on the Mute label and comes with a nice, beautiful inner sleeve, which you always should have a look out for when it comes to buying such a first pressing. It's always an advantage when your copy has it included. Of course, there is a second Yazoo album with an even more beautiful cover art, You and Me Both. What a wonderful jacket with the two dogs, the Dalmatinas. Wonderful, an amazing cover. Again, a very, very, very successful album at the time. And as an example of the record, I want to play one of their biggest successes, one of their biggest hits, Nobody's Diary.
If I wait for just a second more, I know I'll forget what I came here for. My head was so full of things to say, but as I open my lips, all my words slip away. You can change the book, but the story remains the same if you take a look.
Again, an amazing song, an amazing, catchy, emotional song. It's music you can listen to almost anytime if you like that kind of music. The record again comes with an inner sleeve, the British first pressing. And what also is quite interesting, and this goes for those records here too, in my opinion. What always was strange to me was that after those two albums, Yazoo split up, and Vince Clarke founded Erasure. This time a male singer, and I always said, why did he do it? Because this singer sounds like Alison Moyet. I always thought that's odd. But now for this video, and now that I get back to it and get back into it, I realized the singing of all of those records are very, very, not the same, but it has almost the same approach. So this crystal clear, emotional voices. I think this is almost a signature of these records. Keep an eye open if you feel the same, or do you think, no, Michael, I don't agree, they are totally different. I think the singing is so close to each other on the record that I said, wow, that's interesting. It probably has something to do with the way they produced and mixed those albums. Which also goes now for the next record and last record of the video I want to talk to you. And this is a record, when it came out, I didn't like it that much. I didn't dislike it, but I said, it was a huge success. It for me at the time, it was way too sweet, way too sweet. Before I show the album, I play a little example, a little sample of the album, and I can imagine 95% of you immediately realize about what album I'm talking here.
This is the sound of my soul. This is the sound. I wanna take it to the world, but now I've come back again. Why do I find it hard to write the next line? Oh, I want the truth to be said. I know this much is true. I know this much is true.
Yeah, of course. Spandau Ballet. I'm quite sure, I haven't looked it up, but I'm quite sure that this was one of the most successful albums from that period of time, at least here in Europe. I have no idea if they have been that successful in the United States, but here, this album, those two songs, Gold and True, huge. You heard it everywhere, if you want it or not. And as I said, at the time, but nowadays, what a wonderful listening, what an amazing sounding record, killer sounding record. Production value is amazing, immense. The power of them, especially this record, wow, really impressive. The British first pressing, you have here's the jacket, the backside. It again comes with a beautiful inner sleeve, so keep your eyes open that this one is included. Yeah, that was my video about this period, but not only about this period, this was about the records that really had been big, successful, that were absolute mainstream at the time. And what I want to state here, that it doesn't matter that it has been mainstream in a way that you say, oh no, it was amazing. It was an amazing time in my opinion, and the music of the time, 2 thumbs up. Can't wait to hear more of them, can't wait to get more records of the time. There is so much gold to discover and get back that I can't wait to go on with it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it a little bit. Thank you so much for the time you took to watch this video, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.